Ahoy, landlubbers. It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking, and welcome to another Saturday of Cobalt Core. I was just sharing a sort of meme that I found online with the people watching before the stream because then I can't get in trouble on YouTube. Uh, yeah, that's right. There's a 80s version of. Oh wait, was that Outer Limits that had the dinosaurs episode? There's a sort of infamous episode. I was talking about my affinity for kind of outdated anthology shows that tend to be sort of genre in nature, sci-fi, fantasy, or both. And there's one I can't remember the exact thing that he says, but like there's an episode that basically just posits like what if the entire world changes its concept of language and you have to figure it out. Like there's just a guy who he's like I don't know, he's like reading to his kid or something, and then like the wife like starts trying to like tell him about something, and like some like one word that she says doesn't make sense. And then it just keeps like escalating, and then he like goes to see a doctor, and then like he doesn't understand like anything the doctor is saying, and so now he's just trying to like understand what words mean. It's like surprisingly scary, but also like really ridiculous because like to drive the point home, it's like all words that are familiar to you just being used in like a completely nonsensical way. So it has like a weird layer of like kind of unintentional comedy while also being like a genuinely kind of scary idea. But my parents and I went to great lengths to track the episode down at some point. I feel like we ended up finding it on YouTube because a lot of those things just like aren't well loved and like didn't necessarily make it to DVD or streaming or anything where they'd be remotely accessible. But yeah, yesterday we played some Cobalt Core. I also talked for like 40 minutes about how poorly this week has been going. We're gonna hope that next week is better. We do have Monday off as a holiday here in the U.S., which is exciting for me. I in this moment, I would say that my intention is probably to play Pokemon Red while watching something that I don't have to pay any attention to as background noise. That sounds like a good day with the amount of intense focus that's been required to do everything over the last 2 months. But yes, I promised there'd be more Cobalt Core because we're nearing the end. People have been interested in getting there. I think I know exactly what I want to do, which is good because several people have told me that they're either probably joining the stream late or not at all. So it might be a little quiet. So lucky for me, I have a plan picked out, whereas normally I let chat pick. So since I really think I've complained ad nauseum yesterday and don't really have specific need to complain about anything from today, really. Uh, Other than there's some mystery creature that I have yet to connect to this noise. But like sometime around sunset, many days, but I don't think all days, there's just like some creature nearby that just loudly goes like rat, 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 rat. Which like I don't know what kind of animal does that, but it's a little ominous. It sounds like the sort of thing a Jurassic Park dinosaur would do or something. Alec Gould. I couldn't identify Alec Gould from a lineup, I'll be honest, but I am inclined to defer to my mom, who definitely also saw that episode. Uh, but yeah, that's basically the idea. And like, it's not really a big twist like some like a lot of the old Twilight Zones, but like it's really just kind of like an interesting thought piece, which is kind of I think in a lot of ways like an underappreciated thing to come from anthologies is that like with a story that short you can just sort of posit like what about this idea, and you don't have to like really explore it in depth or justify every aspect of it, but like you can still sort of be like huh, that's something interesting to think about. Let's hop over to the game, which I should have set up correctly this time. Hooray for me. Let's go back. Let's continue. By the way, I already let Demolition know Demolition had like calculated the total cost of the Riggs plushie after I showcased this thing that appeared on the home screen in Cobalt Core yesterday, and so I made sure to take care of that today. So let's do a new run because we finished one at the end of last night. I pushed a little longer so that we could finish a run. So what I would like to do, I want to play this garbage ship that I hate with the classic reliable crew for two reasons. One, I have multiple reasons to believe that by playing these characters together and reaching the third zone that I could finally name the third zone, because like that's like a thing that's supposed to happen. Like Ditto told me that like a really long time ago, and I think it's relying on a certain combination of characters, and I think it's these three. I don't know, but also just the fact I think the Tiderunner is a complete dumpster fire of a ship. It's the one that says I don't remember which artifact. Immediately after you play the leftmost or rightmost card in your hand, you move left or right one, depending on which direction you played. And then also, your deck starts with this weird card that, like, when it's in your hand, you don't move until you play it. So it's like, it's really quite a lot of downside and no particular upside. But I haven't done very much with the ship, and I feel like in the interest of giving it some fair shake, we should play with a standard, reliable team and see how that plays out. At this point, we do also need... I think we're down to needing only... Oh no, we still need one from Max. But we do need Dizzy memories as well, so this seems like a good justification. So, start run. What would we like to do? Gain max hull, upgrade 2 random cards to type A, or remove a card and then gain 1 of 3. Well, we could get rid of Scramble and then choose a card, which isn't terrible. Or we could upgrade multiple to type A. Type A is historically what I like best. On the majority of cards, type A is the upgrade I like more. I don't know exactly how intentional that is in the design, but I've pretty much felt that way from the start. 2 free upgrades is pretty good, but I'm also kind of tempted by just the notion of get rid of Scramble and then maybe start with some direction. Although, it's probably worth noting that if we upgrade basic cards to type A, they cost 0, which might make it easier for us to, like, maneuver with the stupid Windjammer. I don't remember the name of the ship already. I was just looking at it. Let's try that out, though. Nope, oh my god, one of them was Scramble. Good start. At least we have multi-shot, which is, like, probably the best one. So, like, probably the single worst and the single best upgrades. We have that going for us. With this group, we don't really have any missiles, huh? So our cannon's a little stuck off to one side, and really awkwardly, turns out that Lunge is a bad card to have on the left, because if I want to go left, I'll instead go right. So I guess what I will do is move left one. Multi-shot. I want to... As much as I hate to say it, I kind of want to play Scramble A, but if I do that, then I'll move into damage range. So I'm probably better off playing Basic Dodge and Shield Surge than either of the other cards that both put me in danger. I do hate this ship, it turns out. Well, I don't really have any particular reason to want to move, so I don't really need to play the anchor. I guess I will draw. And, I mean, just shoot twice. So if I play Lunge, I actually move 3 spaces to the right, which means now the left side of my ship would be in danger. But I guess I could lunge. No, if I lunge, also my cannon, like, doesn't function properly. So I, like, just shouldn't do that at all. I guess instead I should just like use the leftmost cards in my hand, because I'll do a bunch of damage and gradually move out of attack range. I still want my last one to be dodge. I think so. Actually, wait, what would lunge be in this position? It'd be 1, 2. Nah, I'd still use a move. Let's just gain some move, get out of the way. Alright, now I do want to move because I can't currently hit them. I forget the order of how the movement is applied. Does the description tell me something about that? Immediately after you play the card, move. So, it's not resolving the effect, right? I mean, I guess we have to find out if we're going to do a whole run with it. So, I think based on that description, the expected behavior is if I play draw shot, I move and then fire and draw. Okay, that's not what happened. Cool. Very good turn. Glad all that happened. Can't quite finish them with this hand, but I know what I should do. I should multi-shot without moving, and then anchor so I can move, and then block shot. It does the max amount of damage while also moving out of the way, and now explode. I think these, like, basic cards will match better with this garbage ship. Yeah, just what I was hoping would happen. I don't know. Zero-cost cards are kind of beneficial. Like I was saying before, if playing the left and rightmost cards in your hand allow you to move, having cards in your deck that cost 0 can help you sort of manipulate a turn where you can move where you want to go without having to build up a bunch of evade. Which in theory means that, like, maybe you don't need rigs as much, or, for example, something like evasive shot, which is normally good because it does damage but also lets you evade. In theory, you can try to rely on your stupid ship artifact to move around, but that suggests that cards will be drawn on the side of the hand that you want them to be, which, you know, is kind of a tall order, to be honest. So the upgrades to this are add for the same cost. Oh, I see. The basic one is just add 1 0-cost piercing attack. The alternatives are both still 2 energy to play the effect. One of them puts a better 0-cost piercing attack in your hand, and one puts 2 in your draw pile. I mean, I really don't think I want a card that, like, puts bad status cards in my deck. I mean, I guess they cost 0 to get rid of, but the concern then is, like, they take up your draws for the turn. Honestly, like, evasive shot might still be useful to counteract, like, an unfortunate sequence where, like, I have to play, for example, like, the rightmost card in my hand to, like, accomplish something, but that, like, moves me to a place I don't want to be. So in the absence of these being particularly exciting, I think I'm just going to take, again, sort of a reliable effect. So now I have the choice of, like, do I want to try and get 2 artifacts by playing extra scary enemies, or would I rather see, like, some additional question marks in a shop? Since our deck doesn't have a lot of direction right now, it's kind of close. I think with the unfortunate circumstance of getting the freely upgraded Scramble A, I kind of potentially want more sources of energy, which pushes me towards wanting more artifacts. But the way this is set up, I can also hedge and, like, go into an extra shop if I want to. So we'll see how it goes. Ooh, this is early to fight this one. Okay, so I want to, like, anchor. I think it's like anchor multi-shot shield surge or something. Oh, no, wait. We learned that we do the card effect before moving. So if I multi-shot, I don't hit anything unless I commit to moving first. This looks bad already. This already looks bad. It's a bad turn to draw anchor, and my deck is bad. And I feel bad. So I shoot them a bunch. I mean, what's also bad is, like, Shield Search looks pretty good here. But if I play that, then I move in the direction of the cannon and will take 3 total damage instead of 2 total damage, which is what I got going on now. So it kind of doesn't matter if I basic block or Shield Surge. Either way, I end up taking like all of my shield's worth of damage. And the same goes for if I draw shot, curiously, because my cannon is positioned opposite something that will shoot both of us, but it's hitting their blank spot and me directly. So any one of these causes me to basically end in a neutral position with no shield at the end of turn. I can't play anything I would draw off of draw shot. So it's really a question of whether I think it's better to deal with one of the drones, or if I think they're going to reposition themselves so the drone is more threatening to them. I'm honestly not sure. Guess you could also try to make an argument for if the cards in my deck were generally bad, I might try to cycle through them now. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for, I guess, was draw and scramble this turn so I don't draw it next turn. I probably don't want scramble. Yep, and the thing I destroyed would have hit them this turn. Great, good. Well, at least I'm not stuck in place with anchor now. I think... I mean, with lunge being positioned on the right side, I can use it to, like, yeet myself out of the way of damage. So I could do, like... evasive shot, block shot, neither of which are positioned at an edge so they don't move. So basically I hit them twice, I gain a temp shield and a movement, and then lunge throws me like 1, 2, 3, which I think means I wouldn't take damage here, but kind of doesn't matter either way because I would have a temp shield. I honestly think that's about as good as I could possibly get. Yeah, that's, my calculations were correct. Oh, good. The ship gets retaliate, which I didn't remember being true. And now lunge is on the left, which is bad. Oh, it's going to be hard to do anything that matters this turn with lunge being there. Hey, Demolition, welcome to the stream. We're playing the really bad ship I don't like, and it's going not great, predictably. I mean, do I just, like, yeet myself into space? For some reason, I didn't think I'd end up in range of the cannon again. I thought that was going to be okay. Well, they've sort of moved in a good position for me, and they don't have the retaliate thing going for them anymore. So if I just play like the rightmost 3 cards in my hand, then I will not take damage this turn, and I'll hit their weak spot twice? If I did... No, wait, that doesn't quite work. Still, though, pretty good. Look at all those stupid laser satellites. Ooh. They do have retaliate. I would like to multi-shot them. I think the order of operations is unfavorable for that to happen from this side. Oh, but I can just... They're at 4. So if I just use middle attacks, I can, like, 2 damage, and it's shooting my blank scaffolding area. Oh, good, another scramble to go with that upgraded scramble I don't want, but have anyway. So... I mean, overpower is fun. I don't know that it's, like, super good here. Selective memory lets me tutor a specific card up and put it in my hand, which is good if we have something like payback or parry or something like that that's like a single card that's supposed to be like a win condition on its own. We don't have that either. I would say though that like the worst case for selective memory is still like much better than the average card. So even with it just being a thing that like fixes my draw one time and then like deletes itself, like that's pretty good and usually we're taking over nothing, which in this case is I think more or less what we're looking at doing. So I will take selective memory and then I will go this way. Oh good, this won't be annoying at all. Luckily I'm not lying to you. Why would I do that? So I need to... I mean, I suppose I can just, like, basic shot, anchor, dodge, because, like, the temp shield isn't that helpful here. God, this ship is so annoying. What can I draw? I guess I could draw Scramble, which wouldn't be the worst since it's unlikely for me to do anything to them after I fire. Oh, but it does... I mean, it gives me 3 movement because it's upgraded, so at worst I break even, since it's rightmost, and I would have to do that. Alternatively... I could spend 1 move to go right, multi-shot them, and then shield surge to move back, but that's not great. Alternatively, I could move right 1, multi-shot to hit them several times, and then evasive shot, which doesn't naturally move the ship, but lets me move back with, like, breaking even on evasion resource. I think I like the sound of that over the other options, because it does a little more damage and, like, has no significant cost. I do extremely much hate lunge going on the left. It's very annoying. It's happened, like, 4 times in, like, 3 fights. I guess I'm just gonna... Oh, it's so annoying. You know, my deck doesn't really contain a lot of cards that I, like, actively want to play right now. Sure, whatever. Give me an evade. And now they're going to have the bad status to dodge, which is annoying. And I drew anchor, which is also annoying. Not having anchor this turn would actually be, like, super good, but it turns out I have anchor this turn, which is not super good. I think this status runs out on its own. Decreases by 1 every time it triggers. Goes away at start of next turn. Okay. So I can clear anchor status, and then basic shot to move left, and then I would have to block shot to move additional left, so it doesn't really do anything. Just build up a little bit of shield and get out of the way, I guess. That's a little interesting. It's not a lot interesting. Scramble's also a really awkward card to go left, at least in a situation like this. It's not quite as bad as Lunge, where, like, unless I upgrade Lunge to be flippable, it's always bad. I guess that's what I should be aiming for. I was thinking of removing it. But if I simply upgrade it so that it can go in the direction of whichever side of the hand it's on, then it's not as heinous. Yeah, it would be like a super good turn for them not to have the auto dodge status, but once again, time has made fools of us all. It's kind of weird to me that the ship has so little, like, base shield capacity, because it sucks. It's just like a really bad ship. Yeah, I guess I'm just, like, shield surging and hoping that the next leap is the leap home or whatever. So unfortunately, multi-shot isn't in my draw pile, or I could just win this turn. I don't think it is possible. No, it's maybe possible. I could do 1, 2, 3... And then I can do basic shot, selective memory for draw shot. Oh, shoot. Evasive shot, draw shot. There was a line. For whatever reason, it feels appealing to me to just take these types of cards, like block shot, that, like, just for one, give a little bonus and threaten an attack. Because in this deck where, like, there's just an inherent benefit to playing the left and rightmost card, like them having, like, a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B feels like it's overall effective. I mean, big shield is not, like, a thing to build around. It's costs 2 and makes 3 shield. Our max capacity is 3. It's just not that exciting. And then power play is just a little risky. It's another expensive card, which, like, at this point, I don't think I want more expensive cards than what I have, which is really just scramble, I guess. But it feels like it's been a challenge. But, like, power play also, like, digs into our hull, and it's like, there are definitely going to be times when we will not be in a great position to move ourselves. And I don't know that I want to, without already having, like, a healing artifact or something with a ship I'm not generally comfortable using, I feel like I'd rather just do this. I'm playing Gundam Breaker 4 anime. Is that, I feel like the only Gundam games I specifically know about are fighting games. Is that a new Gundam fighting game, or do they have, like, a story-based Gundam game? Also, hello. Let's fight a boss, sort of. Hong Kong, here comes 3 clowns in a clown car. I think he means us. Sorry, she. I think Drake's a girl, right? This looks bad. What if I dodge and then anchor and then block shot? Or if I dodge... Does anchor cause me to... Oh, it does cause me to move. I didn't remember that. And then the middle card, so I don't get blasted, but I also don't have to blow up this asteroid. More of a hack and slash similar to Armor Core. Don't know a lot about Armor Core, but that is probably the primary type of game I would expect, if not the fighting games I already know to exist. Scramble multi-shot? Could also just like 1, 2, like draw shot, basic shot, multi-shot. Those are pretty much the two extremes. One gives me movement resource for later, which I think is useful against Drake. So I'll scramble, move to shoot, which causes me to move but not into danger. This looks bad. God, there's some part of me that's weirdly tempted to use selective memory to draw up anchor right now, and then like, I don't know, draw a shot and try to draw something that gives me resources without moving me into one of these many dangerous spots. I could also just like search up Scramble A and like get a bunch of evade. But if I do that, it's going to cause me to move, right? When I selected memory, I think it puts it rightmost in your hand. Hey, Project Eos. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? He says, it's a game where you pick a mission, kill a bunch of stuff, get new parts, upgrade your machine. Oh, you know what? I actually think maybe I saw a commercial for this. Because that sounds like the old Metabots game for the Game Boy Advance that I really liked. And I remember seeing like a giant robot anime game that looked like it was the Metabot. It looked like it was very similar to that Metabots game for the Game Boy Advance. And part of me was like, I could probably go for that. So if I did scramble and it moved me right, I mean, I guess I could use my last action to evade shot to get more evade. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. This is dumb. I got 7 evade. Get dumpstered. You'll never find me next turn. Cool. Let's do... Maybe these block cards... Well, I think it depends on the enemy type. I think the ships in Sector 1, the like block attacks and things aren't very good because of the nature of our ship and what we're doing. But I don't think the shield cards we have so far are necessarily bad. But I would like to, I think, move left and then block shot. And then, like, basic shoot dodge or something. No, dodge and then basic shot. Yeah, that's safer. I think this is fine. If I just anchor and then block and then multi-shot, then I should move left twice, be out of range of their attack, and hit them for 3. It'd be better if basic block was some kind of attack, but I think that's fine. I definitely feel like this ship functions better without like the weird esoteric characters like Isaac and Max. That might be my bias against those characters in general, but like, you know, when you have cards like, what is that thing even called? Like Drone Shift, where it's just like, sometimes you just like draw it and like absolutely don't want to play it. And like, if that's like your rightmost card and you want to be able to move around, like it just kind of sucks. Again, we have lunge on the left of our hand, and it's just terrible. It's just so bad. Now, on the bright side, it is the case that we have 7 evade right now. So we could just like position ourselves so our cannon is opposite them, and then like strategically use attacks on them so that we don't move out of a good position. So that would look like something that's not on the right, and then 2 attacks that are on the right. Because if I use like evasive shot, for example, then I damage and don't move, and then I like block shot, so I damage and then I move, and then I basic shot and I damage and I move. And moving right twice means that these will overlap the danger zone. And again, like I have shield, so it'd be okay to get hit, except that this is an enemy that specifically like does like burn status to you if you get hit. So like you get a negative effect from trying to tank those hits, which is why I'm being like extra annoying about not getting hit even with the shield up. So something like left, multi-shot, draw shot, some other thing. Though, 2 energy left, can't we just basic shot, draw shot? Okay. Yeah, that's how math works. Okay, well now we have some win condition-y sorts of cards, which are good with selective memory. I don't think Payback is especially good with this ship. We create like a weird target with our like big double gap in the center. And like also we have a tendency to move around. I think it makes more sense to like not try to get hit. Endless Magazine's a little interesting in that much like getting a card off of what was it called? Selective memory. Like, it should be putting these chip shots on the far right side of your hand, which means that you would get, like, a free ability to move right every turn. Acid Cannon, always a fan. Would be a reasonable fit here because of our... I think we have a strong enough combination of block, move, and natural move with our ship and its weird artifact ability that like we can expect to avoid a lot of damage. So like the inevitability of like hitting them really hard and then giving them the poison status, you know, pairs well with that in the sense that like we make it so they gradually take damage over time and then just do everything to avoid damage. However, I think Endless Magazine is a little easier to play, being less expensive. And also I think fits what the ship is trying to do a little better, so I'm going to take that one. Okay, some artifact choices. Revenge Drive, the first time you lose a hull each turn, gain 1 overdrive. Again, I don't think we're in a position to try and like take damage deliberately. Piercer's a fine choice. It's rarely super exciting to me. Fracture Detection. You know, Fracture Detection seems like it's especially good with this ship because of our like additional boost to mobility that like it might be a little easier for us to find and then exploit the weak spot. So yeah, I'll go with that one. I think this is good. Let's just fire off that endless magazine first. So now every turn we'll get that zero cost chip shot, and then we'll just do a shot that moves us out of the way. Oh, we drew anchor, so we're stuck. That's like a really annoying order of operations. Did that really just... I genuinely feel like that shouldn't work that way. I guess I understand why it does, but that's really annoying. So what happened there is that I played draw shot as the leftmost card, so it should have moved me one to the left. But because part of the effect of draw shot is damage and then draw, and because the way the Tiderunner artifact works is, like, after you resolve the effect, you move. Even though I'd already sort of started my action that should result in a move to the left, the card effect drew me anchor, which prevents me from moving, and then I didn't get to do the move that would have prevented me from taking damage. So, to put that another way... So, I mean, I guess we're just doing, like, block, shot. I guess, like, basic shot, chip shot? Ooh, or I could, like, dodge left and then chip shot. But, I mean, I have this temp shield anyway. I might as well do the extra damage, I think. So just, like, damage. So so the weak spot that my artifact generated is either their cannon or their missile bay. God, I've been drawing anchor like the worst time, like every turn. Like, every encounter, rather. And like what's even more annoying is like anchor also prevents you from just using basic evade, not even just like your ship's ability. It's probably like anchor, move, evasive shot, move, multi-shot, and then chip shot. Yeah, okay. Actually, I thought they'd still have one health left because I wasn't paying enough attention. These all look bad. I generally don't like the move random, and I definitely don't think I want lose all evade with what I'm doing. So what have I decided? Do I want to fight another boss? Yeah, and this magazine helps a little bit. It would be really nice to upgrade that lunge so it wasn't just like, in some circumstances, kind of a second anchor. It'd be kind of funny if, like, anchor was a card that just existed in your deck and not one that generated during encounters, but then I suppose you could just remove it. But I was thinking it'd be funny if you could, like, upgrade it into something. I don't know what that would look like. Boy, it would be nice to live in the parallel universe where the starting choice to upgrade 2 cards to A didn't upgrade Scramble and instead upgraded, like, some basic card into useful something. I don't know, it's kind of close between the two. I do want to upgrade Lunge, but I think I'm just gonna do the boss. So premeditation. Oh, that's actually like kind of bad, I think. Oh no, it's flippable. Never mind. This one's actually flippable, so it doesn't matter that it stays on the left side of your hand. You can sort of work around it. I think I would rather have this than not. Demotion says, hope you're doing okay today. I mean, it's certainly an improvement over, I don't know, the entirety of Monday through Thursday. Yesterday wasn't so bad. It just had the frustration of, like, not being able to progress on any of the things I complained about yesterday, because I had to work so hard on everything that I reached a point of just, like, no ability to advance anything. So it's just like, well, I guess I just have to wait for them to do something, either send me that paperwork or, you know, actually show up and fix my roof, or in one case, for me to reach a point where I can both fund and schedule additional work on the piping that I'm not doing before the roof gets done. All right. I think we want to like anchor, move. Oh, that's interesting. Anchor, glissade to the right, which because it's on the left actually only moves us right one, which does put us opposite their weak spot. So we can use an attack that's in the middle of the hand to damage it without moving, and then use an attack at the left of our hand to damage it and then move so we don't take damage. Which also says, good luck with gestures to house. Yeah. I mean, the thing that I keep sort of going back to center myself is like, this has gone pretty badly so far. Probably beyond reasonable expectation. But like, once these like hyperbolically annoying things have been addressed, then I will have like an almost entirely like renovated house. And at the price point that I paid for it, even with the expenses, that's like pretty ridiculous. Like, that's a pretty great position to be in. I just like don't also want to spend like all of the money I own, and it bums me out. Okay, I think we're just playing cards in the middle of our hand this turn. Because that way we keep these from damaging us, and we have only one cannon hitting us, and one of the cards in the middle of our hand is Block Shot, which will negate that damage and do bonus damage to them. But that also gives us the Endless Magazine to set up some bonus moves in the future. Yeah, I mean, the other thing I keep trying to go back to is, like, at least I own the home. I mean, as much as one does with a mortgage, which, I don't know, it's one of those weird things that's, like, hard for me to conceptually grapple with, which is, like, yeah, I mean, I paid a ridiculously large sum of money as down payment on the house, by nature of that's how house works. But, like, an even proportionally larger sum of money I now spend presumably the rest of my life paying off, and yet I own the house? It's just like, I'm not used to debt of significant kind, so it just feels weird to me in a way that I think most people just sort of take for granted. I don't know how stupid that sounds. Dimension also asked, regardless of ability and who's your top 3 crew in terms of looks, personality? I'm very partial to Perry. More so than is maybe reasonable. Riggs is pretty good. I mean, they've gone out of their way to make Riggs like a pretty cool character in order for them to be central to the game or whatever. You don't have to do that. Okay, let's... is the goal here? I think we just end up taking a bunch of damage. We don't have a lot of shield. If we did draw... Our deck is huge. Why is our deck huge? I don't even think we've taken cards every time they're offered. Why do we have so many cards? The point of complaining about the house is not to incentivize people to spend more money. That's not what we're doing here. It's just, if anything, the main thing is to give context for why I'm pretty much just nonstop playing Cobalt Core, because like it's just an easy thing to do at a time when it's really difficult to set aside time to set up something more impressive. But like also just, you know, I want to talk about something while streaming, and this has like consumed my week. So I'm like really not trying to like incentivize any particular behavior here. They're also like super first world problems, so it'd be like really disingenuous. I guess I could just play a bunch of cards from the left side of my hand, and that does some work, huh? I'd have to start with a move, and then multi-shot for like a lot of damage, and then evasive shot, and then some block for future whatever. Now, I mean, I could chip shot here. I think I'm better off shuffling it into my deck, which I guess explains one of the cards in my deck. And so does Anchor to some extent, because it generates outside the size of our deck. So we're anchored. So I can do... Oh, I drew the other chip shot. That's kind of funny. Does that do anything good? So I can, like, anchor and then dodge, which gives me, like, 2 movement, and then I can, like, chip shot and, like, selective memory into, like, multi-shot, maybe? I might be able to kill him this turn. I'm not going to do the math in advance, because that sounds hard. So I'm just going to play the anchor to free up movement, and then... Yeah, I think it's, like, dodge... There's a way to do this, right? I think I move left twice. Selective memory for multi-shot. Chip shot from the right, which will now be in the middle. Then multi-shot and left chip shot? That sounds right in my head, but I can't tell if I'm sort of making that up. So do this one so it hits the weak spot. Do this so it hits... Oh, they didn't have enough health for the weak spot to endure all that. No one... To be clear, no one has to feel like they have to do anything about my ridiculously frustrating life circumstances. I've already explained the intention behind it. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, but you do not feel bad about that, and don't feel like you should do anything. Think twice. This is discard all cards and then draw 5. I don't think that's especially good for this deck, nor do these things that cost 2. You really don't want, like, high-cost cards in a Windrunner deck or whatever the ship is called at all, I don't think. Not normally, anyway. So, like, basically none of this seems appealing. Like, Think Twice costs 0, so you could sort of use it to move, but then you wouldn't know what cards you were going to draw or what movement would be implied by trying to use them. It just seems like too much chaos to be beneficial. Oh, good. When I said I don't want to play expensive cards, here's a thing that encourages you to play expensive cards. Then we have 2 healing artifacts. One for if we're inclined to take a lot of damage, and one for if we're inclined to beat a bunch of bosses. The second one seems more in line with what we're doing. Wizbo! I feel like we don't see enough Wizbo. Is that last fight extremely long? I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen Glissade, and it starts in the left of my hand, doesn't it? So this would move me 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3, which would be fine. Also, I keep forgetting that I have that artifact that, like, makes part of their ship weak. So I could just find that at any time. Could be anything, even their cannon. It's not, though. I honestly think... guess it doesn't matter. What's weird about this ship is that there are often multiple lines that lead you to, like, the same effect. Where, like, playing this card, like, moves me to the right, which, like, moves me out of danger. But, like, if I do this other thing instead, I'll gain slightly fewer resources, but, like, not be in danger. And, like, they just end up, like, reaching the same spot. I know that sounds abstract. It's kind of hard to conceptualize that without a concrete example, but it just keeps coming up. Like, for example, here, I can shield surge and then, like, evasive shot. And so the shield surge counteracts the cannon damage and gives me 1 additional evade, up to 2. Or I could do something like basic dodge, which moves me to the right and out of danger, and then evasive shot to damage them and move left back into danger. But then I could use 1 of those evade to move back out of danger, and so I would take none damage and have 2 total evasion, which is the same result. But there is actually a difference in this case because I have the thing that applies like a brittle weakness to some part of their ship. If I basic dodge and then evasive shot here, it might be a weak spot and I might do extra damage. Oh, look at that. It actually was. I was going to say it probably won't, but it did. Well, now I know that. I have that going for me. So they're not threatening damage this turn. They're putting, I don't know, trash in my ship or something. I think I'll just play the Endless Magazine and gain some future block. Oh, okay. I kind of forgot that there was, like, an enemy who had the ability to, like, send one of your characters into the Shadow Realm, or, like, the Mist Prison book. It's just static. Riggs is missing? So, I mean, I could, like, do some block shots for, like, negligible value. This isn't a very good hand. 1, 2. If I had the reversible lunge, it would help a lot. I guess I'll go all in here, now that I know the weak spot. So I'll move left 2, and then I block shot for, like, negligible value, and then block shot again into their weak spot. And then, for some reason, I was thinking the chip shot would move and then hit the weak spot again, but we've demonstrated that's not true. But it would let me do damage and then move so that I could attack here. Anchor! And also not reversible lunge. You both suck. I like, really can't do anything particularly good this turn. I guess I could... No, all I could do is, like, move into... No, I could move into range and then chip shot. No, wait, I can't even do that. That takes too much energy. Because I was thinking it would lunge, anchor, shot, but that's 4 energy. I'm, like, treating anchor like it costs nothing, but that isn't correct. I, like, actually don't think I can do anything relevant this turn. Because that is, I think, still the best thing I can think to do. It's, like, remove anchor and, like, move over. But, like, because I don't have any evasion currently and nothing in my hand gives evasion, and because, like, the second leftmost card actually moves me right, like, it just doesn't work. So the only question that realistically remains is, like, do I want chip shot in my discard pile so I can draw? And I think the answer is yes. Oh man, I didn't notice that Dizzy got removed on that turn. That's kind of rough. Do I have a 0 cost blue card? Oh no, it doesn't give you the effect. The effect becomes you return the person. Right. Alright, well, I guess I will, like, Ship shot and then kill you? Seems better than trying to figure out the rest of that. Shield gun. No, I don't think shield gun is it. Extra battery? Extra battery might be useful sometimes. I kind of think selective memory is still good, though. For, like, all the reasons the first one was good. Where, like, we can use it to draw specific things that get us out of a jam. Which, like, the Windjammer gets jammed up a lot. But also, if we do draw, like, Silver Bullet killing you cards, like, it's good to find those quickly. I would more strongly consider extra battery if it wasn't up against selective memory, which has such, like, minimal opportunity cost. Okay, as loath as I am to do this, I think my highest priority is to upgrade lunge so that it's flippable, because, like, boy does it suck when that's not true. God, it's so funny to Endless Magazine B. I don't know if I've ever actually done that, because it's so wildly impractical. For some reason, I'm kind of inclined to try, but that's definitely not the first thing I'm doing. Give me flippable lunge so that sometimes it's not the absolute worst card to draw. Okay. Not like an amazing first turn. Draw something? I could lunge. I don't think that's very good. There's not a lot of use in blocking right now. I think I honestly just like dodge and pass. It's not very good. Demolition on cicada season says this house got lucky. Literally 1 to 2 cicadas in totality since the land's all turned over new development. Only good ones were transplant on people's cars. That's relatively promising. What I've heard about cicadas is really upsetting. He also says Uncle's place got annihilated with millions and billions of them, and then the mites came. Remind me about the mites. I think you mentioned this not that long ago, but they sound like the Fire Nation. It's just not great. I mean, I have no idea where their weak spot's gonna be because they, like, changed the dimensions of their ship. I don't play Endless Magazine now on this, like, relatively unthreatened turn. And you know what? I'm just gonna save the evade and take that hit on my shields. Anchor! Do I want to move? I should move at some point. I may not want to move right away, though. I might want to do, like, multi-shot, anchor, like, glissade, and then, like, block shot to, like, clear one of these generated bits. Oh, yeah, that was good, because we found the weak spot. In that case, before we move, let's fire the chip shot, because we don't want to go... Ooh, do we want to go right? Maybe we want to go right, actually. Then I'd have to give up damage on the weak spot, and that sounds lame. So I should do... I don't know, either shot and then anchor and then glissade. Doesn't really matter. Oh, that moved me, huh? Yeah, whatever. We can... If I glissade right 2, I'll go left 1. That's kind of exactly where I want to be, so that's fine. Mites are things that eat cicadas, and a lot of it are microscopic. When they run out of food, turn to people when the leaves they live on become overloaded and fall off trees. God, that sounds like literal nightmare stuff. Each cicada can have thousands of mites, and each mite can have 250 fully grown adults burst from them in breeding. This is like literally a horror movie. How does anyone live there? How many flamethrowers do you own? Demolition. Lunge? So if I did like... I don't have a lot of block, huh? Could potentially draw into Shield Surge. Or into Selective Memory to draw Shield Surge. Like, I obviously want to work my way back over to the weak missile bay. But they have, like, double cannons surrounding it. Kind of makes me think I should just... play defensively and do something like chip shot, lunge, scramble. It gives me like a bunch of future resources and I don't take damage. It's not quite so many future resources that I feel like I can easily go over here. And Selective Memory is pretty bad right now, it turns out, because my draw pile has none cards in it. It says, imagine having 250 people at 20 years old growing inside of you, and then they eat more cicadas and get 250 of their own. Nah, I won't do that. Thanks, though. They only cause moderate skin irritation and nothing more. That's also extremely difficult to imagine. See, it's not super good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I used all the evasion I have now, I could position myself opposite their weak spot. But then I could only attack it 3 times for 6 total damage. I guess... doesn't seem very good. It's not terrible. I think I'm better off, like... I don't know, something like chip shot... dodge, block shot, basic shot, I guess, because I don't need extra shield. Oh. Yeah, right, the whole moving thing. Yeah, shield surge would have been better there. Alright, now we're kind of talking. It's annoying that this is an anchor turn. And also a turn where we didn't draw either selected memory or multi-shot. God dang it. That's super annoying. Because, like... I'd be in, like, pretty good position. Maybe not to kill them, but to really, like... I don't know if you noticed, their ship's pretty wide right now. Also, it's pretty annoying that Scramble A is on the left. Like, this is actually, like, an extremely bad draw for, like, the first time we've been well positioned against them in, like, 3 turns. God, and... wow. God, part of me thinks the correct thing to do is, like, chip shot, anchor, scramble A, and just, like, move to where the cannons don't hurt that bad. Well, I guess it's fine to take a little damage here because this is, like, a zone boss, and as a result of that, like, I should heal a bunch after beating them, including the artifact that will give me extra health for beating higher difficulty enemies. So I could do like anchor. No, that doesn't work. It's got an anchored chip shot to move 1 right, and then lunge to move 2 left, so that then my cannon would be facing their weak spot. But at that point, lunge will be my rightmost card, so I will just go out of sync from where I want them to be. Yeah, his hand's just pretty bad. The more I look at it, the less, like, good it is. I mean, no, that doesn't work either. Because anchor does cost something. I don't know why mentally I struggle with that so much. So I can, like... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like anchor scramble is, like, the only thing that makes any sense. It sucks. I hate it a lot. But, like... 2, 3... Yeah, just like immediately use the scramble to like not even not take damage, but just take a little bit of damage. And then I like can't even play the chip shot because then it just like burns more resources for like none value. Yeah, that's a really crappy turn. That makes me unhappy. Oh, good. Kidding me? Still have a selected memory and a draw shot over there? Whatever, it's fine. No! Coughing's donut. He was enjoying that. What are we doing? Just playing my, like, leftmost attack cards? Huh. So now that I've drawn multi-shot finally, I think I can just chip shot from the middle so I don't move, and then multi-shot. Okay. I really wanted that multi-shot, and like 2 turns in a row lined up super poorly for being able to do that, despite having 2 cards that can search that card out of my deck in its entirety. So I had like 3 ways to draw it and just didn't get there. I think that's pretty unlucky, especially with a deck the size mine is. Parry, though? Like, Parry's a really good card. I don't think it's good for this ship or this deck. I already kind of don't like Scramble. So, like, Ace is arguably, like, worse Scramble under these conditions. What does my Mitosis do again? Start your turn, lose 1 shield and gain twice as much temp shield. But I, like, never have shield. I only ever have temp shield. I think this is a skip. Shield burst. Every time you gain any shield, gain a temp shield. But I only ever have temp shield. Simplicity or Berserk Drive. At the start of combat, gain a power drive. On the second turn of combat, your enemy also gains power drive. That's tempting. I don't know that that's good, but it is tempting. What would I do with Simplicity? Probably remove Scramble and then maybe like the basic shots? It's an interesting idea. It really streamlines the deck significantly to do that. I think it's worth a try. So let's get rid of Scramble. So sorry, still don't like you even with a free upgrade. And then just get rid of the basic attacks, so that hopefully that leaves me space to get like more copies of like Blockshot or whatever. But like now it feels like all the cards in the deck like specifically act in service of the basic idea of what I want to do with this Forsaken ship. So I can Glissade several in this direction. And then like multi-shot. Okay, that's not the weak spot. Evasive shot. And then I think I actually would want the awkward, like, lunge moving to the right, but being forced back to the left. Because then I can actually still hit them while also not taking damage. Oh, that's interesting. I should have anticipated that. But it does the full move and then attacks and then does the weird secondary move effect from the ship artifact. Of course I have to draw anchor on the turn I get Endless Magazine. This ship is annoying. I think I have to play anchor here. And I can't play Endless Magazine. I guess that's not true. I could play Endless Magazine and just like move one to the right. It's not very good, but I think it's a reasonable use of the resource. Alright, found the weak spot. I was debating silently to myself whether I should do the draw shot first in hopes that this was the weak spot so that I'd be able to do more damage before moving, but ultimately decided on this course, which did not accomplish that. Is that my draw pile that I want? So I could do something like... No, I don't think that's very good. I was trying to think of a way I could, like, draw a shot and select a memory and get multi-shot and hit the weak point. But, I mean, even if I did select a memory first... hang on. If I did select a memory first, I would put multi-shot right in my hand. I could move one left. I could do draw shot without moving for 2. And then block shot for another 2. And then I would do 6 damage from multi-shot up to 10. And then I would finally move. And I have the energy for that, right? Select a memory cost 0, then block, draw, multi-shot? I think that works. Let's find out. Multi-shot goes to hand at the right. Block shot, weak point. Draw shot, weak point. Multi-shot. Okay. I thought I could get there, and then I didn't think I could get there, and then we got there. Sidestep. So what are the best and worst case scenarios for sidestep? If we draw it left and want to go left, then it's neutral movement that costs us 0. And then we could play whatever card is at left there. So that's okay. If we draw it right and want to go right, we can go extra right, which may or may not be good. If we draw it right and want to go left, well, I guess we just wouldn't use it at all. There would be no reason to consider that. Nice if it's okay. I kind of already feel like our deck is... I did thin it out a good amount. But I mean, with the Glissade or Glissade artifact or whatever, like, I think we're okay for that specific effect. Now or Never continues to be, like, not something I really want at all. Boost capacitors is, like, a little cute because our shield capacity is so garbage, but, like... I don't know. I just don't think... I think we're more about evading than blocking. I just don't think it's like what I want. Alright, what are our pads here? Question mark to double boss. Many normal encounters to boss. And one question mark. Or... question mark shop boss. Many shops. Zone boss. So it's mainly a question of whether I want more upgrades or more artifacts. At this point, upgrades are starting to sound more appealing. Actually, yeah. Yeah, I think I want more shops. So let's go up. This whole game is a jam, huh? I don't see any reason to move, so I guess Anchor can hang out. I was kind of hoping that'd be the weak spot. That'd be fun. Lunge. Alright, well, we did some damage. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We're kind of the same width and your cannons are at the sides, so you have the ability to hit me with like all your stuff at once. Not like a huge fan of that. Draw shot's kind of fun here because it clears out this missile and then moves me opposite this cannon so I could maybe do something. What the follow-up is, unclear, but I will draw additional cards and maybe one of those will move me in a good direction or something. That's fun. Multi-shot, huh? So I could do, like, evasive shot for future resource while also doing damage, and then multi-shot for damage, and then not get hit by you this turn? That feels good. I'm sure all the songs on this soundtrack have names. I don't really know any of them, I don't think. Kind of want to selective memory, multi-shot, selective memory, endless magazine. Because I know that neither the missile bay nor this wing over here are their weak spot, which leaves a 50% chance that the thing my cannon is facing now is the weak spot. So hitting that with multi-shot does like a ton of damage. But then, having done that, I'll start moving gradually to the right, so I think the best thing I can do with 2 leftover energy is set up the status that gives me free attacks in the future. I don't know if this is too cute, but I think it's good. Ah, darn it, it's the cockpit that's weak. And then selective memory, endless magazine, endless magazine. Stop, don't do that. Okay. So, like, anchor, chip shot, glissade, something? Definitely anchor. Chip shot moves me for free and does some incidental damage. Glissade from the left going right only moves me right 1. So I should use my rightmost block shot first. And then glissade. And then block shot. Yeah, because that gives me the temp shield to block the missile. I actually forgot that I'd do that last move and thought I was going to take the status attack, but I avoid that, so I'm pretty happy with that outcome. Oh, he does do secret missiles. I couldn't remember and was hoping that he wouldn't. I have 2 evade. I can kind of do the same start as last turn. What are you at? 6? So if I just like chip shot to move and then move 1, 2 and then multi-shot, you explode. Yeah, having that free upgraded triple multi-shot and them having weakness is a fun little mini game. Bolt. Because Bolt removes itself, is that worthwhile? Probably. It's a little sketchy. I think that's okay. Is anyone else getting a really bad headache? No, it's from the high-pitched static. Ah, you again. Which of you shall I teach? Great question. What kind of... I feel... There's something gnawing at the back of my mind. I feel like there's some kind of parry-related card that would be a good win condition for this. And there was like a moment where I thought of it, and then something weird happened in the battle and I immediately forgot. What would that be? It's not parry. I mean, more endless magazines is funnier or whatever. There's an expensive card that I was trying to think of. I feel like there's an obvious thing that I just can't quite think of that complements this deck. What would that be? What is the thing that works with... Oh, that's what it is. There's... I think it's a parry card. Forget the name of it. But I think it costs 3 and gives you a status, and like every time you move, you shoot. That's the thing I should go for. I think that's a parry card. There's like a vague chance that's... I guess I could make an argument technically it could be any of them. Although I think it is least like Dizzy of these 3 characters. But like, because it involves both moving and attacking, it's kind of in the wheelhouse of Riggs and parry. But I think because the thing it does is damage, I think it's a parry card. It's not one of these. And I have to take one of them, huh? Is Hermes Boots better with a ship that moves without me spending evasion to specifically do it? I think some of the time the answer is yes, and some of the time the answer is like definitely no. And I have to take one of these, and none of these are very good, but one of them is not super expensive. So I guess I'm going to take this and see if it does something interesting. What just happened? Energy readings are back to normal. Now, I could immediately get rid of that card because that didn't go the way I wanted, but I think the thing I want to do is like upgrade basic block and basic dodge. So I do also really want to upgrade endless magazines. Because the sort of concept I developed at the start of this zone was that I would, like, cycle through the deck and be able to kind of move freely with things that cost 0, and then just keep drawing into endless magazines so that I'd make more attacks that cost 0 over time, which requires the upgrades where it doesn't exhaust itself. I think it's better, though, short-term to upgrade the supporting cards, the basic ones. So I'm going to upgrade block first because I have so little ability to actually block long-term that, like, firing that off for free feels beneficial. Okay. So let's do... in this magazine... move left so I don't take damage. Evasive shot, which is positioned so it doesn't move me back into damage. So now I get free attacks on the right, which aren't extremely helpful. Everything is to the left, although I suppose it can help me escape. Escape. So I guess I could, like, move left, draw shot, maybe block shot. I mean, I guess I'll just have more options once I do the draw shot. It will stop chip shot from moving me, which may or may not be good. But yeah, I think this turn starts with left, draw shot. I was hoping that'd be the weak spot. Unsurprisingly. Let's just multi-shot and basic block. Chip shot just for more damage, and then, like, lunge? I think that's fine. So we've now narrowed it down to their weak spot is either this leftmost cannon or this third one from the left. Boy, these draws, huh? So anchor. I think I want, well, No, if I don't use the selective memories, this turn is pretty bad. I think it's like, I don't have nearly enough energy. Stupid rev the engines and stupid anchor, both stupid cards, stupid. I kind of want to, like, selective memory into multi-shot and use, like, a combination of, like, rev the engines and chip shot to, like, move into position to hit this, but I don't even know if that's the weak spot, so that's just pretty sketchy. How is it that I keep drawing both selective memories next to each other and, like, always on turns when, like, I have anchor or some other reason it's not useful? This hand is bad. It's a bad hand. I should have just not. No, this is just a bad turn. I could have not anchored and block shot and done something else. I don't know. That's probably better than playing anchor and doing whatever it is I'm going to do. I didn't think this turned through enough. Now most of the things I can think to do are... I mean, none of them is, like, extremely bad, but they're, like, all bad. Like, part of me now just wants to, like, rev the engines and glissade really far to the left. I think that will save me from having to think too much about this turn. Whee! Base of shot. Block. Is this your weak spot? No, it isn't. That's so annoying. Alright, let's chip shot, shield surge. You're gonna do 3 damage, so I'll take 1 shield. Yeah, that's fine. I'll leave Bolt in the deck, I guess. No, that's fine. I'll just stock up. So if I lunge left, I will move 1, 2, 3 to the left and then fire, which will be the weak spot, and I'll have multi-shot in the middle. Oh no, because it calculates the card movement, so that, it's fine. It's fine. Shoot. 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 I mean, I take 1, but I got shield. Now it should be not difficult to kill you. Pew. Pew. Increase my living power. Inverter. Gives you X damage boost, where X is your shield. My shield capacity sucks. EMP sets everyone's shield to 0, and then, like, negates their turn and ends your turn immediately. Which is a little interesting because our shield sucks, but, like, also it costs 3, and it's kind of just not what we're doing. And Prepare is too expensive for what it does for me to want that. Perpetual motion device. Whenever you have no cards, draw a card. We're kind of moving in a position where that could happen, but it's not going to happen very often. Chaff emitters. I don't see this very often. Seeker missiles and other homing missiles can't see you if you're 2 or more spaces away from them. That would actually be good. Like, there aren't that many enemies that have the Seeker missiles, but our build, I think, is increasingly capable of just moving really far away. And the Seeker missiles would be kind of annoying because, like, even though a lot of our damage prevention is based on movement, they could still find us. I think I prefer that to prep batteries a little bit because of specifically the dumb thing we're doing. I have to go top mode because I want maximum shops. That gives me all of Dizzy's card attacks deal +1 damage. Alright, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. What can we do? Upgrade. Upgrade the basic dodge. And then random encounter. Oh good, it's binary star. This one doesn't somehow always work out in an annoying fashion or anything, I promise. So, oh good grief. We could like rev the engines and move right, and then glissade and move left, like a lot. So hang on. If I play rev the engines, cannon moves 1 right. If I then glissade to the left, that means I move 5 to the left? Because whenever you move 1 further. No, that's probably 6. I was thinking it only counted card movement and evasion. I think it counts all movement, which would count our artifact. So the cannon would go first 1 to the right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. So our cannon would be opposite their blank space. Yeah, this turn seems bad. I'm just gonna generate some shield and evasion. Dumb turn. Get out of here, Bolt. Hey, Miss Toasty, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. I am feeling a little better today. This week has been going quite badly. How are you doing? I really don't like Rev the Engines. I'm really upset that I kind of had to take it. I think the other cards would have been even worse, but like, I've never liked this card. This is probably the closest it's been to good, and it's not good. And of course I draw both selected memories on the turn where I have only 2 energies, so I can't do Endless Magazine and something else. Despite the fact that I've put 2 perfect tutors into my deck, like my draws have been like horrendous in a lot of these fights. That's also like a lot of missiles. do think I want to glissade 2 to the left. And then I think I just want to... Yeah, I think I just move 1 to the right and then like block shot, multi-shot, and hope this unarmored space is also their weak spot. It's not, though. But the missiles don't hit us and we have shields, so this is okay. Okay, now we have a bunch of energy, but our options are dumb. So I can anchor, which negates the bonus energy, and then like endless magazine, which sets up, is disappointing. Bloodshot would gain me a temporary shield, which would mean I wouldn't take any like direct damage from anything that's facing me. Oh no, that's not true. Missile's doing 2, so it would take 1, which is mostly fine. What was draw? I think I'm not playing Anchor this turn, is what I'm getting at. I might change my plan if I draw something good off draw shot, but I think it's basically like draw shot, block shot, endless magazine is the plan. That's fine. That just like further offsets damage from this turn. So let's gain temporary shield. So we know that like 2 of their things that are relatively convenient for me to target are not their weak spot, which is not ideal. This is kind of problematic because I guess technically the block shot can pierce that. I think if I were to hit this and find that it was the weak spot that my artifact is generating, that would permanently override the armor that's there, but I'm not certain of that. I'm gonna try it though. Not the weak spot, but at least they're not firing another missile. So... dodge... This might be a good turn for Rev the engines, finally. So we know that their weak spot is either their missile bay or this cannon. If I rev the engines, I'll immediately move left 2. And then if I spend 1 evasion, I can move left 2 again. But then at that point, the only thing I could do is chip shot. Or I could... No, that's bad. Huh. I think maybe the best thing to do is just like use a bunch of movement this turn. It's not very good. What can I draw? Oh, double selective memory. God, why are they always next to each other? It's so annoying. One, 2, 3. So I could like multi-shot and hope that's the weak point, but then that still doesn't, like, kill them or anything? Honestly, with all these missiles out, as much as I hate doing this, I think it's just, like, rev the engines, like, run away? So annoying. So if I anchor, and then selective memory for multi-shot, because it should have shuffled in. And then lunge. Then I will have moved 1, and then lunge 1, 2. And then I could do the other selective memory. I still don't think I hit either of these two last possibilities. This could be the weak point. It's not threatening that much damage, so I think it's worth taking the risk here. So let's anchor left for multi-shot first, I think. And then for... I don't know, maybe just dodge? And then I want... Oh, but now this is my leftmost card. I think that gives me some okay flexibility. It should... Okay, that is the weak spot. So we do... right... multi-shot... chip shot. I didn't realize how low they were. It took me so long to actually position for that I kind of forgot. Ooh, draw shot. That's a good one. Yeah, I think I'll take another draw shot. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to get most of the basic cards to either like be free or give just like solid general. Like I want to get rid of this rev the engines. It's not good. But before I do that, I'm going to do the fun thing and upgrade magazine or endless magazine to magazine B so that I can keep playing it. You act real tough, but I know all your embarrassing secrets. My embarrassing secrets are also your embarrassing secrets. I don't care. I'll tell them. You wouldn't. Scorched earth, baby! A lot of damage you're threatening. And also anchor is here. And like I really want to do endless magazine. It's probably not correct is the thing. I'd probably be better off. What would I do if Nega Vasco told me that? Well, it's kind of hard to say because it's one of those logical pitfalls like the Addams Family where like essentially the defining feature of the Addams Family is like their values are the opposite of what you would expect them to be, but like there's different ways to conceive of that. Like I think the problem is that like if I don't know, it's tough because like I tell you most of my embarrassing secrets, like a high percentage of them. Like I talk a lot about how stupid I am. But like I don't know, on a broad social context, like I really hate the idea of people knowing how stupid I am. And it's kind of hard for me to answer that question, I guess. I think I would need to know more about the situation and what I would already have established about the negative version of myself. God, what a frustrating draw. Mainly anchor. I think if it wasn't for anchor, I'd be like pretty happy with this hand, but like now I have 1 energy and the main thing I want to do is play a card that costs 2. Also, that card is at the right of my hand, which like limits my options further. I'm gonna be responsible, be sad about it. I guess I might as well just stand. The question is, would I rather do more damage now or get evade? I'm gonna say more damage because evade is not as good at preventing damage with the widespread of cannons that the ship has. Oh god, now my whole draw pile sucks because like all the things I wanted to play were in that opening hand that I couldn't play them because of anchor. Block and oh, man, and I can't even like give me a draw shot. Alright, that's not the weak spot. That's not the weak spot. Well, good. Rev the engines. I'm so thrilled. Is this thing the weak spot? Nah. It's basic dodge. End the turn. So I think I've established this, and this aren't weak spot. So I could try to draw shot into, I don't know, something. I could selective memory into endless magazine. Which will make... It'll make future turns more consistently helpful. Might make this turn suck a little more. So that moves me, and then I still have the ability to move twice. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's like a lot of missiles and stuff. So I'm gonna draw a shot, which will test this far side for being the weak spot, which it isn't, and then I'll move to relative safety. But of course that also drew me cards, which is fine because I don't actually want to move, but I do want this shield. So that actually worked out. Right, anchor. Let's weigh anchor. I want to test this other concussable thing to see if it's the weak spot. It's not a good turn for that, unfortunately. No, that's not it, but we'll do a bunch of damage here. So there's a trade-off here where if I chip shot, it will move me in range of the 2 damage cannon over here. But I guess I could just play dodge. No, if I just play the dodge... No, it's fine. I could play all the cards in my hand, do like an extra damage, and then nothing is in range of attacks. So now I think I've tested effectively this entire right side of the ship, and none of it is weakness, which is inconvenient for me, but not like wildly unreasonable. Yeah, I think something with this endless magazine thing is that like I want to upgrade my draw shots to draw 3. It's a very ambitious series of decisions I've tried to make here. But, I don't know, the way things are going and with the chip shots, I think I'm kind of fine hovering around the right side of the ship and just like... Probably should have done this first, would have been the smart thing to do. I will just take that, I think, rather than spending the evade. So now each turn we generate 2 chip shots, just automatically. So let's get a free shield. Let's... I don't really know what we're doing, to be honest with you. I think I want to play Anchor, like, pretty close to last. Because I want to hit him a bunch and then run away. So I really only want anchor before playing basic dodge. So like chip shot, block shot, anchor, basic dodge. Slow and steady, I guess. Oh boy, anchor. Actually, anchor's not bad here again, I think. It's probably like multi-shot, draw a shot? No, I don't actually think I want to draw a shot this turn. It's probably multi-shot. And then block, anchor, chip. Block, anchor, chip, move. Yeah, that should be right. Block, anchor, chip. Have to play from the right side. That does matter. Avoid all damage. Okay, not anchored. Have endless magazine. Block, dodge. Endless magazine. Chip. Evasive shot. Chip. Avoid all damage. Now get 3 free attacks every turn. At a certain point, this stops being useful. But I think this will make this fight faster and generally less annoying to have done this way. So I get a free dodge. I have like a trillion. I have a trillion billion dodge. I could... I'm kind of close to like the point where it's worth trying to find... Even just to like force position myself by the missile bay. How much health do they have? 10? I need to deal 5 individual hits. Which I can do? This is a stupid turn. Draw. Block. Chip. It's working, I guess? Your mileage may vary as to whether this is a good strategy, but it is working. Oh, for God's sake. I can't tell you how much I don't want another endless magazine after going to the trouble of upgrading that first one so I could play it repeatedly. Now, Second Opinions is mildly interesting. It lets me draw 1 card of each color. So I definitely get a 0-cost basic card. I mean, until I play them, about half of my orange cards cost 0 as well. And then I'll probably just draw, rev the engines, and lunge indefinitely. I mean, hand cannon's kind of funny with the endless magazine cycle I was just doing, but like that's realistically only going to happen like 1, maybe 2 more times, because it's only going to be against like really durable like boss enemies. Another endless magazine is just actively pretty bad, I think. Maybe the upgrades to Second Opinions? Oh yeah, the upgrades are weird because like they're not upgrades, they just kind of change its functionality. You can draw the cards from the discard pile, which then makes it a little more reliable. Like you can craft kind of what you're gonna draw sometimes. Or you could draw from the exhaust pile, which is like super good sometimes and rarely good at all. I guess the concern I have is that drawing a bunch of cards at random potentially like goose up our ability to like move to the right. I think I just skip. Second Opinions is a card I would like normally take without much consideration, but because of our ship, I think this is a skip. Demon thrusters? Gain 1 of 8 every turn. Can no longer have more than 3 of 8 at a time. I don't think that's it. Shield burst every time you gain any shield. No, we're still kind of not there. I mean, now our basic shield costs 0, so we like play it more, but like that's not super useful. Yeah, it's funny. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? I think it's just flywheel by default, but also like our deck kind of wants flywheel. Because, like, it's relatively thin. I do kind of want to upgrade the draw shots because they have one that can draw 3. So that will help us cycle through, and then we'll be able to play more cards, which will let us move more. It would be really cool if I could get that rare card that does damage when you move, but I just don't think we're going to get there at this point. All right, Tivoli Gardens yesterday. I know I should know what that is by now. Remind me, though. Doesn't feel like a particularly good opening hand. I suppose I could use selective memory to get like Endless Magazine, probably. Always get to get that out of the way early. So that'll move me to the right, and then kind of want to use Lunge to just get out of the way. Guess I'm taking hull damage here. I think I'll just burn the bolt. Well, I guess I could glissade. No, I'll take 1 hull damage. No movement, huh? So we got anchor now. God, this turn sucks. This is a bad turn. At least we got extra energy. Glissade several in this direction. Do like an evasive shot. Okay, we found the weak spot, which is good, at least. Honestly, let's just block, shield surge, chip shot. Because the shield surge offsets that damage. It's probably a smarter way to do that now that I'm thinking about it. It's a fun park in the heart of Copenhagen. A place my sister couldn't go to because it was closed. Oh, I do remember that. The place that inspired Walt Disney to make his parks. I mean, it was probably among them. I was recently watching through the Defunct Land Season 3 that goes a lot into the history of, like, inspirations for Walt Disney to make the Disney theme parks. And it kind of sounds like he just went to, like, every theme park he had ever heard of at a certain point. Oh, God. I forgot that Rev the Engine stays in your hand. I really need to remove that card. It's so bad. I got really unlucky with that. I think it would actually have been better to just take like a 2-cost card I never want to play. Yes, a thing that it does on this particular turn. So it moves me here. Of course, now I can't move incrementally 1 to attack the weak spot, which kind of sucks. But at least I can do many attack and then block shot and scoot out of the way. It's not a particularly good turn. And now chip shot is actively bad to play for multiple reasons, so that's just gonna be a weird draw on an upcoming turn. Okay. Okay, so this is a turn where I have extra energy. So I could use, like, selective memory to draw Endless Magazine again. Or I could just... If I use selective memory to draw something that costs 0, then I can, like, chip shot 0-cost card, and then, like, multi-shot the weak point. I don't know if it's worth all that effort, though, considering they have the temp shield on this turn. So tell me, Iceman, what's your favorite thing to do at Tivoli Gardens? Is there like a particular ride? Or do they have like some unique confection like Dole Whip that everyone's so fond of? And a collaboration with Chart Art Fair, 18 specific artworks. They wanted to attract folks to the event. It was a fail. So were they just displaying the art, or had they done something in the park sort of inspired by those pieces? Multi-shot. So even with the... yeah, it's not that good, huh? I honestly think I just like shoot them a bunch where I'm standing and then run away. Kind of thought I would draw anchor. It's not the worst thing that could happen. It's not extremely good though, obviously. Yeah, if I just do... no, I guess I have to do... oh, no. Oh, now anchor's my rightmost card and it's awkward. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to spend and evade, which is disappointing. I was trying to be smart about that and kind of forgot that little wrinkle there. I have a weird idea. Does this work? If I... if I block shot, I hit their weak point and do some bonus damage. And then I would do basic block, which moves me one to the right. I guess I should count from here. Basic block moves me one to the right. Basic dodge moves me one to the right. And then Endless Magazine moves me one to the right. It kind of doesn't do it. I can, like... draw shot. Oh, I could draw shot into like lunge. That's probably better. I want to do Endless Magazine. I don't think it's a good turn for it. So those are in the middle. I can do... this is fine, I think. I guess I would do block shot now. Because I want to do, yeah, block shot, like dodge, block, and then lunge to the left, which only ends up moving me one to the left, but I'm just gonna scoot. Because I got that extra evade. Sorry that I constantly use evade and dodge interchangeably, but hopefully you understand what I mean. Ice Bunny says, you're not big enough to people not knowing they are there to pay attention. Didn't play up Tivoli's own scenery, and they have a flower festival in the next 2 weeks. So, if I'm understanding right, you're saying that, like, you don't feel like the artwork played into the crowd that would normally come to the park, and people didn't know that something special was going on in the park, and there's something coming up that would draw them to the park that, if they were going to spend the money to go there, they might be waiting for that. Rather than just, like, going today. I don't like the alignment of cannons on the enemy ship. It makes it hard to do stuff. This might just be like a throw turn. Maybe I can draw into like Endless Magazine with Draw Shot or something. I don't know. I guess I should do this first because I want to evade to the right. Well, I can select memory into Endless Magazine. And that saves me the trouble of dodging. So that works out about as well as I could hope for at this point. And it lets me ignore their temp shield turn. That was very kind of you to put your weak spot there for massive damage. Yeah, I can work with this. Shoot, move, shoot, dead. It's fine. I had a lot of attacks left over at that point. Evasive shot A does 2 damage and gains 1 evade. It's not bad. I would definitely prefer evasive shot B. I don't know, that one removes itself. Honestly, that's fine. I would prefer that to this one. The always 2 damage, always 1 move. The other one is 2 damage, 2 move, but then you only do it once. You got a gas grill green burger combo. It's not taking the rides. When you go on the rides, you're like the old school rust abandoned roller coaster. Does that have any particularly noteworthy features? I know roller coasters aren't high on having like a story or necessarily a theme to them, but I really like theme and application of theme and things, which I think is why I like stories and adaptations so much. I don't think my deck is really looking for another Shield Surge. Frankly, if I had the ability to like cut 3 cards again, Shield Surge would probably be one of them. Do I want Evasive Shot? I think so. It's close, but I think so. It might be good to have another attack that does 2 damage for like times I come across like armored spots or whatever. Hey Neko, good to see you. Thought we might not see you tonight after your message on the Discord, but at least it sounded like you enjoyed National Cinema Day. Okay, we made it to Zone 3 again. We still didn't name it. What's the plan here? I can't really do anything in particular to maximize the number of shops. I think no matter which configuration I take, it is always exactly 2 shops. Yeah, it's the first one is unavoidable in both possible directions, and so is the last one at the end. So then it's just a matter of what along the path is best. And I think it's probably like multiple question marks, multiple bosses. I feel like I'd rather do that than like 4 more random encounters or something. So we'll start here. Welcome to my emporium of wondrous ideas, traveler. May I offer you one of my creations? Oh, cool. It's the guy who has like the bad cards. Are any of these good for me? You'll often find that like one of these is good for you, or at least like has synergy with something that you have access to. Not necessarily good, but there are things. So like, for example, if we could get that card I've been talking about that I want, whose name I don't remember, that like gives you a status where you shoot every time you move, like Waltz would then be a like 1 energy, fire 3 times, that you end up in the same starting position. But like, that's pretty good. That's like a multi-shot A with some potential upside. I don't think any of these are good for us, though. Neko confirmed she did have a good time at the movies, but feels terrible about her mom not getting to see Coraline. Why is that? Why did that happen? That's when he says that the Rush Abandon is the oldest ride at Tivoli Gardens. They have a staff sit in it to break. Wait, like there's like in the car, there's like a physical brake that like a staff member has to apply to make the ride stop? That's insane. You scream for screaming, but the ride is not wild unless the brake is not working. Wow. I don't know, that's kind of scary. Landing in a bottle. Spend 3 energy to get 3 energy. Yeah, I guess if you have that artifact that refunds you for, like, spending 3 energy, that's a bonus. Here, if you have, like, the artifact that, like, gives you bonus healing when you heal, you're net positive. But, like, I don't think we have anything that works with any of these. Shop. What am I doing with this shop? I don't know that I'm upgrading any of the selected memories at any point. You can't upgrade them so you pick 2 cards from your deck, but that's honestly, like, makes math with this ship really annoying, I think. I'm not sure that's good. Oh, maybe I just removed the rev the engines? It's so bad. I could just use these shops to remove shield surge and rev the engines, or something like that. Or I could upgrade the draw shots. What's more useful in the long term? Would I rather sometimes have the ability to use rev the engines to just sort of hurl myself outside of combat for a turn? Or is the fact that it sucks the vast majority of the time a sufficient reason not to do that? I don't think I want to upgrade the draw shots. We are not well suited to fight the shopkeeper, so we will not be doing that. Let's draw, I guess. Let's go up. Ooh, wait a minute. I can throw away a card for free. Yeah, random upgraded rare card. Nah, I'd definitely rather get rid of something. So now the question becomes, what is less useful to the deck? Shield Surge, which I very, very rarely play, or Rev the Engines, which is similar, but like does kind of have the downside of like retaining on the left side of my hand, which can be a nuisance. I think it might be short-sighted, but I think I would rather have Shield Surge, even though they're both pretty bad. It says that she, her mom, and her brother agreed to see Coraline together for her mom's birthday. Neko took her ticket and ran off to get coffee. She struggled to be up so early, and then brother held on to the rest and left with them to get himself morning pastry, and then the film started. Oh, so he left once the film had already started, and mom had to wait for his brother, and they never came in. So, I mean, he didn't, like, vanish, right? What ended up happening? So, like, the movie started, you already had your own ticket and went in. He left to get, like, morning food, and then, time vortex? Like, what? I'm gonna get rid of Rev the Engines. It does make me angry in a way that the other card doesn't, so that's kind of a justification. I mean, our ability to eat ourselves makes this probably a relatively good matchup. Anchor's always annoying, though. I should have played... I'm gonna play the Glissade now, I think. This just offsets the fact that I got both Anchor and my one expensive card on the opening turn. So I could bolt left, or just, like, yeet myself into eternity. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep eating myself until I have like a good opportunity to attack. Cause like, why not? Great turn to have extra energy. Thanks, guys. So I went for food, came back 45 minutes late. They'd already missed enough of the film. Her mom was crying. They tried to go in, but she was so upset they went home. I mean, I definitely understand that. That does suck. That's not your fault, and I feel like everything you did is like perfectly reasonable. I don't know. It's just that's a weird situation. I wouldn't say that only your family could have that happen to them, but that does seem like the sort of thing I would expect to have happen to your family based on the stories I have heard. I was texting, but the signal at the theater was deliberately the worst so people don't text in movies. Is that like... Is that anecdotal, or do you know something about jamming signal in movie theaters? Because I feel like at least in America, like, there's signal. People be doing annoying stuff. If anything, I've heard a lot of anecdotal stories about, like, people being, like, more rude and, like, doing things like texting in theaters more often now than they used to, like, pre-COVID. Like, people didn't go to the theaters for a while, and then, like, when theaters opened up, everyone's like, I've lost all sense of how to interact like a sane human being. I think I'm just gonna slide my way off to over here. Oh, I found the weak spot. And that drew me into a zero cost card that can move me some more. But hold on. The thing I want to do with my energy is make an attack, probably block shot, and then selective memory for endless magazine. So I should block shot, selective memory for endless magazine, and then I should do block before endless magazine so I only move one. Yeah, that's more or less what I want. Okay, sorry, I had to think about that really hard. Like I said, she's certain no one can send texts in cinemas. They never go through. Yeah, I like that. The second you said like that's got to be illegal in America, Demolition, I was inclined to agree with you for like 911 purposes. Like, it doesn't surprise me that that's literally true. Like, that seems like that should be true. Like, I'm definitely sorry that happened to your mom. Like, I've been in a shockingly similar situation, and it was like really upsetting. So a friend of mine who used to work with me at my current job won tickets to see Selena Gomez's like album release party, and like of her friends locally, it turned out that I was the one who would be most interested in that, which may or may not be embarrassing. I don't know, you decide. It's just a fact. And so, you know, after work, we decided to like meet up near the venue for like dinner, and like we've been told by some of our coworkers who had been to that venue before that like that restaurant sort of allows people to like park there like longish term, so like we'd be able to like eat, leave our cars there, go across this kind of major street where parking is difficult, see the show, and then like come back and leave afterwards. But like it turns out that that wasn't the case, and they wouldn't let us park there. And then we both had driven there, so we both had to find parking, and I found parking in like 10 minutes, and it took her like I think over 2 hours to find a parking space and then get back to the theater, by which point we were the last 2 people that they allowed into the show, and we did not get seats and had to stand the whole time. So we did still get to do it. It probably wasn't a worst case scenario. It kind of depends on your mileage as to how inconvenient it is to stand awkwardly in like a hallway at the edge of the seating for the venue to watch it. It was weird. It was annoying that like I kind of had to stand near the like front of the line but not be in line because I couldn't get in without her because she was the one who actually like won the tickets for the show. So like I was just like standing there at night at like a particularly cold time of year on a particularly cold night for LA, which does get cold when it's dark out because it's a desert. And just like awkwardly standing by myself, like not getting any updates from her because she was driving and like wasn't texting while she was doing it. It was like not a great situation. I'm pretty sure she was stressed the whole time, but I was like not thrilled with it either. So Ice Bunny says she was supposed to leave town because she had to flee the garden work that I think was, yeah, because her HOA is like doing like landscaping or whatever and like charging them for it because they like fired their actual landscaping people or something ridiculous. And so the HOA like convinced people to go to this art show because they thought it would be like a good social event, but obviously Ice Bunny doesn't want to talk to them because they suck. Yeah, that's really dumb. I'm sorry that happened. Neko says that there were a lot of ads in the cinema for phones where you could remove background sounds, and it advertised recording movies in the cinema at a higher quality. Wow. Ordered Pizza Hut for Mom's birthday, and that was a mess too. There's meat baked into the vegetarian, pineapple in the pepperoni, no garlic in the bread, and they forgot garlic. Yikes! What's going on over there? That's really confusing. How is it that we vegetabled the meat and meated the vegetable unintentionally? That's just too many problems. Oh no, they claimed that the gardening was a social activity because they want everyone to take part in that. Yeah, that's a non-starter for me. There's no way. Oh no, you had the worst Pizza Hut employee ever? Do they happen to know that plumber or like that lady who was supposed to do technical support for my like router? We've encountered a lot of incompetent people. Let me remember what on earth I was doing in this game, by the way. So I have drawn anchor on kind of an awkward turn. God, you know what? I really badly want to block shot this armored thing. No, I already know where their weak spot is. It's over on that cannon. Never mind. So then is the idea that I should gradually move to the right? I think that works out. If we just play anchor and then just keep playing cards from the right side of our hand, like we'll keep hitting weak spots and eventually avoid damage, probably. I don't know, I'm not doing the math. You can't make me. I suppose I should use a move here so that I hit the actual brittle spot, which doubles damage instead of dealing a bonus one. And then we do basic dodge, shield surge, then we tank the 4 damage. That's fine. Second verse, same as the last. I know that's not how the saying goes, but we just scoot our way over to the weak spot, and then multi-shot, draw shot because it's in the middle. Oh, multi-shot came back around because we had to shuffle our deck. They want to do 5 damage to me? Can I kill them this turn? If I multi-shot A, that'll do another 6. Only puts them to 10 though. It's probably a good idea for us to keep scooting. what do I want to do with that last energy? Because I could use selective memory to find anything that costs 1 in particular. Maybe shield surge? If I shield surge, that means I move left twice. I'm sure I can get out of this. Now, hang on. There's not something better I can look for, right? What would that even be? Dodge? Actually, basic dodge could just be the best thing to get right now. Because that might let me avoid the 5 damage entirely, whereas I don't think I would be able to block everything, even getting shield surge. I think I'd still take a hull damage that way. Oh, Anchor! It's so bad. No! Anchor, why? Why? That's dumb. You're dumb. Screw you. You're so dead. Dumb. Stupid dumb. I don't want scramble. That's the whole point. Search, discard, move a card. Wait. Pardon? Search, discard, move a card to top of draw pile. Okay, it's saying search your discard pile for something to put on top of your deck. That's a no for me, dog. This deck doesn't function that way. Acid Cannon is funny, but I think Endless Magazine is sort of doing the trick of expensive finisher card. And I just don't want Scramble, it's bad. Revenge, Sharp Edges. Every time your discard pile is shuffled into your draw pile, the enemy loses a hull. That's a little interesting. Stun Calibrator, also not terrible. Those are both good options. I don't think Revenge Drive is it. I guess the thing is that as fun as Sharp Edges is, and our deck is relatively small, it's also the case, well, no, I guess in most instances, once we play Endless Magazine and we're making the chip shots, we're usually playing them, so they don't go into the deck to flood there. It's really more a question of whether against the final boss I'd rather have stun effects. And I'm not sure. I think yes. I think the answer is yes. I'd rather have the stun effect than some nominal damage. Because, like, I'm not exactly built to shuffle my deck repeatedly. I do have, like, 3 cards that will remove themselves from the deck if I play them. And they all cost 0, so I can kind of do that at will when I draw them. And then once that's true, we only have like 12 total cards, unless for some reason we like pass with a chip shot in our hand, or they do status to us, which I think Final Boss does. But like, yeah, we're not doing it like multiple times in a turn to get benefit, and it's another enemy type that's hard for us to dodge cannons entirely, so I think stun is better. Another artifact. Oh, good. We heal after each combat, except that's not actually going to do very much. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Nego says, we're too tired for cake, so I'm looking forward to that today. Well, I'm glad at least there is still cake, and it wasn't something where, like, you went someplace where you were, like, going to get dessert there because everything went badly, you couldn't, or something like that. Like, that's a bummer. But, like, it does make me very sad that birthday things went poorly. That's very frustrating. Movement kind of sucks against this boss, huh? It's a little bit of a problem. I was kind of hoping I'd hit that weak spot right away. I want both, or do I just want evade? I think I want fewer cards in my deck. Nico asks, how was my day? My day was pretty good. It was off to a rough start. We want to talk about negative Vasco embarrassing me? He's got nothing on me. I was woken up this morning by some incredible intestinal distress that caused the type of accident that children get made fun of on the schoolyard. But after that, everything was fine. My mom took me to a nice lunch at Dairy Queen, which is one of my favorites, and I got ice cream with double toppings, which is my favorite, and haven't had extreme distress the rest of the day. Additionally, nothing is leaking in my house currently. What flavor? So Dairy Queen, there's a couple places that just sort of specialize in making just like a core type of ice cream really well, and then like working around it. Like Chick-fil-A is that way. They have like a special kind of soft serve that people really like, and it's always vanilla. Dairy Queen is the same. I don't know if it's technically actually vanilla or just sort of like a generic sweet cream. But like the main thing that they do is either like blend it with sort of like candy pieces or like brownie or something, or like cover it with like flavored like syrup kind of toppings. So I got just like a vanilla sundae with chocolate and peanut butter toppings, and it's the toppings are sort of served warm on the cold ice cream. It's just a really nice combination. I really like that. They upcharge you because you're not supposed to get 2 toppings, but they'll let you do it. Okay, got that sweet energy from drawing 10 total cards. So it could be a good turn to... It's not really. This Fool threatens a lot of damage. Oh, also, none of the good cards are in my draw pile. So what I need to do is make sure that the 5 damage is like in my scaffolding zone. Oh, I was trying to play Glissade. That's cool that I did that to myself. Block shot. Oh yeah. Block shot. That's pretty good. And then we'll shield surge. And then I guess evasive shot. So we ruled out these 2 definitely for being weak spot. Don't actually remember if we hit the one next to it. I feel like we might have. Honestly don't think we play anchor. I think we stay here and we stun the big cannon and use like block shot and basic block to tank the damage that's being threatened. So draw, block, reblock. Now I could do another evasive shot and gain more evade. I'm already at 4 evade. I think I'd rather selective memory and fire off the first endless magazine. That'll make it a little easier to stun the main cannon, I think. Yeah, I do too, Neko. I like warm... I mean, I like a warm sort of syrup topping on ice cream. Like, chocolate is obviously sort of the classic, but like at least one other place I've gotten like warm peanut butter topping, and that's really good. Let's do ship shot. That's also not the weak point, and this isn't the weak point, and these 2 aren't the weak point. I don't think this is. I need to do block shot to stun the 7 damage. And then shield surge. draw shot. No, I don't think there's like a reasonable way to evade anything in this cramped corridor. So I think it's just like draw. Oh, man, would you end this magazine at an awkward time? How dare. Yeah, we're just gonna take 1 hull damage, which isn't great. But now you're just like super dead, right? Super dead. Not actually that dead. Somewhat dead. It's kind of progress. No, I don't want another lunge, and the stun artifact is effective enough. I don't really think I want multi-stun, and button mash is just a dumb card. They really want me to have Revenge Drive. I believe this is at least the 3rd time it's been offered to me today. Have I ever had the ice cream sauce that hardens instantly when it gets cold? Yes, but only recently. I think like at the end of last year. So like, I think last fall, the grocery store I went to in California had like a limited time like mini cheesecake that was like apple cinnamon flavored for like fall or whatever. And I was like really into those for a while. And then they stopped having them in stock and I kind of got sad about it. And I got like they just had like a plain small cheesecake. And I was like, what can I do to spruce this up? And I tried getting like Reese's flavored hardening shell, and it was really good. This is the first time I'd ever had it. It was really good. Basically, any sauce that isn't room temperature on ice cream is the best. I mean, I take that as intended, but like I wouldn't put barbecue sauce on ice cream and expect to have a good time. You might. I feel like that'd be weird though. Caffeine Rush does what? Every time you discard pile is shuffled into your draw pile, gain evade. Nah, if it was like energy, that'd be useful. Every 4th turn, gain overdrive. Can't reliably make sure. Well, I guess by the time we hit 4th turn, I probably have at least 1 endless magazine up. So it's like giving dividends that way. But is it better to have Revenge Drive against the final boss where I'll probably be taking small amounts of damage? Probably. It's probably better. Barbecue sauce is room temperature. I keep mine in the fridge. And it doesn't go on ice cream. Now, you didn't say any sauce that goes on ice cream. That's more or less the tease that I was making. Well, I can't say I care for this. I mean, I think we're just having a sad setup turn. I guess I could have played Selective Memory. That would have been pretty sad, though. Do I want to draw or do I not want to draw? I think I'd rather draw less. Probably going to be drawing though, huh? I would do 1, 2, shoot, move again. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do lunge. Ah, I found the weak spot. That's kind of what I was going for. Kind of a bummer. Well, I could move left. Yeah, let's break even here. I'll spew the bolt, move left, and multi-shot the weak point. Get a little bit of a head start. Anchor. So I can do anchor. Staying on the left is really awkward. shot. Selected memory for... Oh, good, Comm Jam. Who doesn't remember and love Comm Jam? I think I can avoid taking damage, so I'd rather have evasive shot. Didn't calculate this right because I thought I'd already done the movement, but that's just not correct. So I think what I'm going to do is move left, evasive shot to stun. It doesn't matter that it stuns, but it will counteract the move that I'm spending to do that, and then I can multi-shot the weak point. Just kidding. Dial-up noises. Let's just embarrassing. Spiny says she wonders why her alarm clock app stopped working. How long has that been going on? That's not a fun surprise. What am I doing here? Now I could use the chip shot to do bonus damage here. I think I might actually be better off like using block to move left and then stunning one of the statuses so I have fewer comm jams. Oh good, lunge is like positioned correctly. Ooh. Pew. Pew. Nice funny says she was lucky last week the local corner shop had Nutella on sale and got 4 glasses and one was 25 kroner and they normally cost 42. Yeah, that's a good deal. I'm not a big fan of Nutella, to be honest. Ace payback. Nah, I still didn't get the stupid thing I wanted. I don't even remember what it's called. I always like conflate it with Ace because they're both sort of like expensive moves thing, whatever. I don't want any of these. They're bad. Final shop. So I could get rid of Shield Surge. I think it's been sufficiently useful. That's not my main pick here. I can upgrade the other draw shot to 3. Isn't terrible. Could upgrade one of the block shots to generate 3 temp shield. That actually sounds pretty good for the final boss, I think. Just like a little bit of everything all the time, you know? Yeah, I think that's what I want. Temp shield. Multiple temp shield. Let's go. Evasive shot to deactivate. It's a reasonable bolt turn. If I bolt and then Lunge. That's bad. Oh no, wait. If I bolt, it moves me one. I'm thinking lunge is leftmost, but it's not. That would be... Cannon would be here. Should mean I would take 2. No, that's pretty bad. But if I just also play the shield surge... No, that's not great. No, wait, yes it is. Is it? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like lunge left. No, it doesn't even matter then, does it? Yeah, it's like not useful. Because like I would move there. Yeah, I'm just gonna shield surge. To... Yeah, just, yeah. I don't know. I made that hard. Exactly, the bow burning method. Wasn't sure if people would still remember that specific thing from the infamous Bo Burnham special of Quarantine. There's my magazine. Must be my doctor's appointment. Boy, this kind of sucks, huh? We're actually probably gonna struggle with this boss a good amount, which is why I wanted to like have more shield. But the fact that I always draw Anchor and Endless Magazine on the same turn definitely doesn't help. I think this is gonna be a setup turn for me, so I'm gonna Anchor and just like get out of dodge. I probably don't search something up. Do I spend 2? I got 5. And like minimal shield. He's funny, he says, we have to be prepared for the future crises. It's better to have Nutella when the Russians are coming. Nutella is nice on pancakes or warm toast as weekend breakfast. That's fair enough. I don't know. This may be part of the American-European divide. I feel like for that purpose, I'd probably just use peanut butter and be happy about it. I don't know. Hazelnut has like an aftertaste to it that's not pleasant to me. It's not like terrible, but like, I wouldn't choose it over most things. No, to be more specific, I wouldn't choose it over most things that you might choose in that similar situation. I have no idea where their weak spot is. Is it here? Nope. Let's do... Trash, chip shot, draw shot. Okay, so it's neither of these. It's not this one. I don't think I tried the ones on either side. Don't like to have drawn that there. That's not ideal. I'm gonna do free block and then do another draw. Whoops. Didn't think that all the way through, huh? That's fine. Right, missiles. Right, missile and anchor. Anchor and missiles. Right. The poison for Cusco. Well, at least we have extra energy this turn. Let's anchor an evasive shot so we can concuss that. And then... Not getting a lot of value out of multi-shot here. think I just have to spend an evade, and then we do multi-shot, move left, do probably evasive shot, and then ship shot so we stop getting hit. So we've ruled out like 4 spaces in a row for the weak spot. Let's do evasive shot, ship shot, stun that offline. Shield surge. That sort of covers the damage we have here, so I'll just take out the trash. Oh, but they gave me more trash. Almond butter I haven't had that often, but almond butter is really nice. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like contemporary life has trained me to think that almond butter is somehow unethical with the amount of water it uses per sheer amount of almond. Ah, that trash though, it sucks. Let's do... draw a shot. Block B. Oh good, we're on an extra energy turn, so I can still play that guy. You know the one. Let's get dodge and ship shot. And I don't have to move because I have a bunch of temporary shield. Yeah, it just, I don't know, I can't remember if the almond thing is like specifically a good place thing, but it definitely makes me think of all the like good place arguments. Like, I think at some point there's specifically a thing where they're like sort of trying to evaluate the point system that's allegedly in place to determine if you're a good person. And then like Cheaty sort of walks you through like the process of just like buying a tomato and how it technically makes you evil or something. And it's like, that's just so exhausting. This is not, like, a good hand, I would say. I guess it sort of scoots. Yeah, this hand scoots. I would say this hand scoots. I mean, fire off an embarrassing ship shot, and then ship shot, and then multi-shot. There we go, we finally found it, folks. And then... move. I'm just gonna scoot. I got like a bunch of evade. Same with plucking a rose versus buying one. I don't remember that as well. Let's do... what do I want here? I probably don't want to draw first. So do this, and then block, and then draw, and then block, and then ship shot, and then shield surge, which like protects me from so much damage. What's a bold take? Almond milk is bad in everything. I can't say that I've... maybe I tried almond milk once. I don't think it left a strong impression. Not as strong as impression as almond butter. So I want to get to... I want to go to there. And if I do... of course I don't have either of my tutors, which would be perfect for drawing multi-shot. I'm very good at not drawing my good cards at the right time. So we do like scoot, scoot, toot, toot, Bloot bloot. Okay, we got him. You are growing stronger. I guess Dizzy will get a memory now. I've been doing some reading. You know, in my free time between the eternities and a timeless void. I saw that. The Cobalt, the time crystal embedded in the core. That's you, right? It was. So then the core was like an egg? Egg, seed, sentient singularity. You do not have a perfect word for it. Egg, got it. Yeah, I mean, it might, I don't know. Might help to, do I have this somewhere? I've completely forgotten where, like, everything is.
Picture an egg.
It might help to picture an egg. That might help us get where we're going. We have only 2 more memories to collect. T-minus 137 days. I, cast Fireball on my own sword. The sword erupts an extremely cool blaze of flame. Your goblin attackers step back, filled with a terrible fear. The type of fear that makes them take an additional 50% damage on your next attack. Nice. I hold the sword to the sky and cast Mighty Yell. What do you yell exactly? I yell, I'm gonna get your butts with my cool flaming sword. Heh, damage boost goes up to 60%. Yes. Hey, what are you guys playing? Chess? Can I play? I feel like that one has us pretty close to cracking the whole mystery at play here. I think in the scheme of things, that deck went pretty well. We managed to take relatively little damage, despite not having much in the way of damage reduction, really. Big Vasco. So we have 2 more memories, and then, I don't know, it's still kind of my assumption that getting all the memories will unlock the last character who I genuinely don't know anything about. But then I mean, is it just 3 more memories and then we're done? I don't even think we've necessarily hinted at the last character, unless it's like the knight, like Ratso or Wizbo. They're kind of the only, like, named characters we've seen that, like, aren't already on the crew, or, like, obviously just a straight villain. I mean, it's, like, it's literally just... Oh dear, the game crashed. Well, oh, hang on. That was weird. We just need 1 for Dizzy, 1 for Max, but then, as you'll see, this. So it's my current assumption that all the memories unlock this. I just don't know what that means. And that might not even be true. There may be some other specific criteria for getting the 8th crew member. I don't know. I mean, it could theoretically be next week to clear those, but then it could be like 3 or 4 successful runs after that if that person also needs to have 3 memories unlocked or something. Like, without, like, looking it up and finding spoilers, it's hard to say for sure. Nico said she always forgets to bring her flaming sword to chess. I know. I still haven't gotten in the habit of bringing my umbrella places at the appropriate time here in Florida, because it, like, virtually never rained in California unless it was a non-stop constant downpour for some duration of time, whereas in Florida sometimes it will, like, rain really hard for like a half hour and then not again for 3 days and then rain non-stop for 8 hours. Like, it's just a little more chaotic, but the rain is more common in general. So we do have to do another max run. We should try to give some thought to what will make that most interesting. And it's hard for me to say because I still don't feel like I've seen a sampling of Max cards that gives me an impression of something particularly interesting to do with him. We also have to do Dizzy, but Dizzy's just great, so that's fine. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometime in the not too distant future, probably want to get kind of started on Halloween stuff. I know we had some discussion yesterday, but listen, it's been a long week. So, other than Slay the Princess, which was a good suggestion that I'll probably remember, if you have something you'd like to suggest, put it in the Streamback channel in the Discord. which hasn't been getting much use lately because I can't do anything. But yeah, I mean, I have two really stupid ideas for things to do, like right adjacent to Halloween. I will have to reflect on whether those two stupid ideas, or maybe just one of them, or maybe none of them, are worth doing. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we should probably do at least a little bit of Halloween stuff in September so that we can jam some more in. Excited for stupid ideas. I mean, I think it's pretty subjective. I think historically most of my really stupid stream ideas have gone over well with my intended audience. What's on there? These would probably be along those lines. One of them is like a bad idea for me, and it is hard for me to know how well it would go because it's dependent on you, the viewer. And also, you, the viewer, collectively coming to a consensus with a really large range of possible options. Maybe the idea is to make it into 2 streams so that the fiddly stuff is addressed first and then something else happens. I don't know. Halloween Donuts is almost guaranteed. There is a sufficiently close Krispy Kreme to make that happen, but as far as I know, we still haven't announced actual concrete Halloween donuts, which may or may not be made with concrete, I don't know. 24 donuts for Vasco. No, I'm pretty much obliged to buy 12, and that's typically not a good idea, but I do it anyway. God, last year was such a pain for the donuts. I gotta remember to, like, try to remember what the weird quirk of their pre-order system is. It's really stupid. Yeah, I mean, concrete's not great for your teeth, but, like, what is, really? I do still need to find a good dentist out here. I really like my dentist in California. I also have to find a doctor, but I kind of hated my doctor in California because he was, like, a really passive-aggressive, like, bonehead. Like, I would just, like, come in, and no matter how good of shape I was in overall relative to my, like, unfortunate, like, Germanic physique, which definitely has me look a certain kind of round no matter what I do, like, he would just sort of be like, wow, all your test results look great, but you're fat. He wouldn't say it literally, but he would say it in, like, the passive-aggressive way he could get away with while not saying it out loud. And, like, at first I didn't think much of it, but, like, I only ended up seeing him, like, 3 or 4 times, and he just, like, did it every single time. It's like, you know that, like, all my blood work demonstrates the fact that I am actually, like, working out routinely and stuff like that. Like, you could be less of, like, a a-hole, frankly. And then also, there was, like, a whole thing where, like, he saw, like, I have, like, skin sensitivities, so, like, I tend to get rashes at, like, the joints on my hands and, like, my knees, not so much my elbows for whatever reason, but occasionally. And he, like, looked at them and he, like, insinuated that they were, like, super serious and that I should go see like a dermatologist that he, like, referred me to, that I assume he got some kind of kickback for, because I went to see the dermatologist and I'm like, you have, like, normal, like, sensitive skin, just, like, try not to wash your hands quite so often and, like, apply, like, moisturizer and, like, skin cream, like, do the stuff you're already like, you're already aware of how to treat this. It's really basic stuff. Now pay me a lot of money because you saw a doctor and the American healthcare system sucks. So I'm like, great. So you called me fat despite the evidence that I'm, like, doing my best over here, and then you, like, wasted a bunch of my money. Like, I don't think you're a cool guy. It's like, so, like, I don't think it'll be super hard to find a better or, like, at least equivalent doctor here. It may be a little tricky. I'm not sure if the insurance network is as prominent out here. I haven't really looked into that, but I should really do that. The dentist though is gonna be a little tricky because like that matters to me more, you know, in a Vasco way that's intangible. And I really did like my old dentist. I like both of them. I didn't like the intermediate dude. He sucked. That's what he says. Let a real fat person tell you that you're not fat. Medical doctors are just garbage people. I mean, I don't like. I have no idea what you look like, Ice Bunny, but like I feel like you're doing your best out there. I'm doing my best out here, and I feel like we should all endeavor less to like think of fat as like a problem with people. Like people have all sorts of natural predilections to the way that their body will develop. And so like, I don't know. I just feel like we should endeavor not to be critical of things that we have little to no control over. I mean, like there's overweight and then there's like morbidly obese where you're clearly not making life decisions to keep that in check. And like, that's a problem, but that's like a problem that needs treatment. It's not a problem that needs judgment. But like, yeah, I think doctors categorically, I think most people will agree, are like weirdly fat phobic and will, I mean, especially with women, I've heard a lot of accounts of like women just being told by men doctors that like all of their problems are just caused by them being fat. And it's like, I mean, I've experienced that too, but like probably not to the degree that women have. And it's just like, that's just like garbage. Like, do your job. But like with my recent experience as a homeowner, like this is just like a recurring theme of like, there are things that we all want to accept that people are like trained professionals and they will do their job because they're important. And that is definitely not necessarily true, and it's very frustrating. Yeah, I mean, like, I honestly haven't been to see my doctor in like 3-ish years, 3, maybe 4 years. I was trying to be in better habits, but then like when COVID hit, like that, the waiting room at the office at the doctor I was going to was like a big waiting room for like 8 or 10 doctors or something. So there was just like a ton of people there, and there was just this sense that like we weren't, you know, sanitizing it all the time or whatever. It's like, I don't really want to, like, it's bad enough to sit in like a waiting room for like a specific doctor or like maybe a couple doctors and like hope not to get sick in this peak pandemic period. But like, it definitely doesn't feel great to be in like a stable waiting for that to happen. Edgar says, I was fat because my family overfed me. Once you're overweight, it's hard losing it. I managed to, but I went through a lot of crap for people. People treat you like garbage and think you're greedy, and men think fat women are disgusting and shouldn't exist. I mean, that is all definitely true to the extent that it can be objectively validated. I honestly feel like I have been through that to some extent. Of just like, I did not develop good eating habits at a young age, and I've been trying to overcome it, but like losing the weight is a lot harder than just like being in good shape to begin with. But I do genuinely think that in addition to like the learned behavior that's not ideal, that like at least the men in my family have like a certain like physical shape where like if you gain any weight, it goes like certain places. It's just it's hard to describe this in a way that doesn't sound like an excuse, but like we all just have like a certain body type that is just that like absorbs fat a little more and like isn't attractive. I don't know. That's when he's had to fight medical personnel and they didn't get better since they. So, I mean, I don't know all the specifics of what happened with your brother. I know he recently died. Do you hold the doctors responsible for that? You know, hormones and other things definitely factor. It's complicated. Like there's a lot of factors, and people like to think like Neko says, like there are certain things that people just sort of like to categorically like dismiss as being like, oh, like fat people like aren't, you know, self-disciplined enough, or they're greedy or whatever. But it's like, no, it's like not, that's not really how stuff works. I mean, I definitely think that we should all try to be excellent to each other regardless of lots of factors. And it's difficult. Like, you know, we all have things that we are naturally judgmental about. Like, I mean, one thing I've found is that, like, when you find that you overcome any kind of personal struggle for yourself, when you see that in others, I at least have some, like, natural tendency to try and be judgmental towards people. And, like, I've worked really hard to overcome that, which then, in a perhaps hilariously ironic turn of fate, causes me to be judgmental towards people who are judgmental. Which I know how stupid that sounds, but is genuinely, legitimately kind of true. Yeah, a lot of people have dealt with that sort of thing. There's this company here in the U.S. I don't know if they're abroad as well. Neko, it's called Noom, and like the thing that they advertise is that they sort of like analyze things like traumas that have led to bad eating habits, and like the idea is that by having analyzed them, they can sort of help you make like a psychological plan to help overcome things instead of just a blanket like eat less, exercise more kind of mentality. I have kind of heard some rough things about that company. It kind of sounds like they're a little fat phobic, frankly, which is ironic and bad. But that's a little anecdotal, so I don't entirely know if that's true. It's not like I've tried it myself. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. Like, intolerance of intolerance isn't inherently bad. I do think it's a thing that I do, but like, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it because I feel like it starts like dovetailing with like at least American politics in this weird, horrible state we're in the year 2024 of our gourd. But yeah, like I know someone who was like excited about the concept of Noom and was herself like in like a psychiatric field, and then like when she like sort of saw what their responses were, she was like, oh no, this is like super bad. Like this feels like this is just like feeding like already sort of bad like mental habits that are ingrained from like people who don't genuinely understand how to treat this sort of thing. That said, I'm probably gonna get some more ice cream this weekend, and you can't stop me because you're not close enough. None of you are close enough. Your arms can't reach. We do have the holiday here in America on Monday, and I can't tell you how badly I need a day off in the midst of all this. Uh, God, it's so bad. I'm so stressed about all the things and the lack of progress on the things, despite all the things. Oh, yeah. So, like, after the health complications from a stroke, you feel like the doctors talked your sister-in-law into pulling the plug without further treatment. That's a really dark gray area. I mean, I don't know what his wishes might have been, but like, that's a really strong choice to make if you're not certain about that. You know, like that's tough. Didn't realize that was part of all that Ice Bunny, and I'm sorry to hear him. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it's September now. And you know what that means? Can I do this live? Does anyone care about this? How do I do that? I need a panel I don't normally have open. Viewer rewards, emotes. Then I have to delete this. Remove. And then I have to delete this. And then I have to upload. So I have to open this folder, move it to the correct monitor, then put chat back, and then go over here, upload this, and then I need to find the Wave 5 emotes. There's the toggle for this. Don't auto resize this. And then this. And then this. Then we name it. And then we upload. Okay. I don't know how long that's going to take. But now it is officially Halloween emote season. So we've switched from Summer Ice Cream Vasco to Spooky Pumpkin Vasco. Now, yeah, I think it's just going to be disabled for a hot minute, but I thought it'd be fun to try that. I think for partners, sometimes that kicks in just a couple minutes, but that might take a while. But that will be in place by the next stream. But I have saved in my phone 4 dates to turn over the emotes, and they're all just 3 months apart, and September 1st is the start of fall. So it saves me the trouble of remembering to do that later, and also giving you the heads up. Yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up. So, I mean, are people still interested in... I mean, I don't know. I think I'm inclined to try and at least get in those last 2 memories in Cobalt Core next week to at least to see if we unlock that last character and see if we get a sense of what that means. And if we feel like we can get it done in like another like stream or 2, maybe just wrap up Cobalt Core before diving into October things and then sort out new stream options from there. But if I have another idea that like appeals, I'll try to run it by you, or just surprise you with it if I think it's a positive. But while we contemplate that and the future of ice cream or whatever, keep in mind, really gotta fix this setup, that somewhere behind me is hidden some number of secret Squirtles. If you're somehow new here, I have all these stuffed animals, and I also have several stuffed Squirtles. And as a result, if you are able to locate one of those Squirtles hidden with another stuffed friend, it is an omen of good luck for you in the coming days, which, if your life is going anything like mine, you could probably really use. So I encourage you to take a moment, look at this poorly arranged menagerie of friends, and see if you can spot yourself a Squirtle. I'm going to enjoy some of this maybe 100% juice apple. But yeah, if you have Halloween suggestions, drop them on the Discord. I'll have to give some further consideration to my stupid ideas. I honestly think they would both be fun. I don't know if you all would necessarily... I don't know. I think more likely than not, we're going to execute both of them. Do we have real juice in America? I mean... probably somewhere. I don't know if this counts. This is like juice from concentrate that like allegedly doesn't have sugar added, but I mean, I don't know. It's America. There's probably sugar in it somehow. Alright, so I see a guest behind Big Narissa, the extremely big kind of washed out narwhal. And I assume Ice Bunny, this is the bunny. I don't have any other bunnies out, do I? Oh no, technically I do. There's like this big Easter bunny down here that you can barely see, but I assume you mean our chocolate Easter bunny with his delightful bow tie. Actually, I think this is supposed to be a girl bunny because the name is like Denora? Denora doesn't sound like a guy's name. Ooh, background's out of focus all of a sudden. Weird. Concentrate is better than artificial flavor and color. That's true. I do agree with that. It's pretty hard to find juice that isn't from concentrate in a store from my limited experience. But like sometimes you can go to like a restaurant or something that will like make their own juice. Alright, so we got a couple guesses. Demolition, if you want to throw one in there, just let me know. So, back here behind our large narwhal. Oh, hang on. Everything is kind of structurally integral over here. You know what, Mew, you can just have a seat. That's fine. Is this also going to fall over? Probably. Just for scale, I'm about, you know, like this big, and like this narwhal is like this big. It's kind of like, it's sort of torso-sized. Anyway. She was concealing my big beat-em-up Power Ranger, who was upside down so that he could hold someone on his feet. No one would sit on his head. It was annoying me for like 2 weeks. If it wasn't so much trouble, you say we need a banana for scale. If it wasn't so much trouble, I'd go just get the Banana Man out of spite. And then, Demotion says, only to stay on theme, anything with a donut. Well, the only thing that has a donut currently is coughing. And the thing that coughing was hiding was the new Yu-Gi-Oh toy I got this week from McDonald's. I got the dog/Exodia friend. I think he's extremely cute. I'm very happy with this one. I've always been partial to Exodia, the alternate win condition where you just assemble 5 cards in your hand and you show them to someone. You're like, I just win now. It's very silly, but I've always liked that. And I don't know, he's just got like a good, cute, derpy face, and then like the detail on him is very good. I like this guy. I was very happy with that. Neko could probably vouch for the fact that she sort of asked me which ones from the collection I'd be most excited to get, and my answers were literally the Blue Eyes White Dragon and Exodia, which I now possess both of them, which is exciting. Now, Ice Bunny, don't think I've forgotten you, because you also had a guess that this bunny that is really front heavy for no particular reason might be hiding a Squirtle, and he sure was. Sorry, she. It's a girl bunny with a tie. I can't help it. Is the apple juice great value apple juice? I don't know. I haven't been getting it that long, and frankly, I haven't paid very much attention to the label. But congratulations to Ice Bunny for locating this secret Squirtle. I hope you all have enjoyed this Tiderunner run of Cobalt Core, the ship I have misnamed 1,000 times during the course of this stream. It's getting recalled for high arsenic. You know. Life's got its problems. I have heard about... I thought it was like a Walmart brand, though. I'll double check. I genuinely don't know. But yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Well, this didn't come from Walmart. If the Walmart brand is still the main one, that's the culprit. It's not that. I got this from Publix, which is like the local grocery chain here around here. Around here? Yeah, that's a good sign. It's time to end the stream. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Till I do, take care of yourselves and remember that you are Klossa.